The bile and the pancreatic juices mainly helps in or completing the process of digestion in the case of frog. Pharynx forms a connection between the buccal cavity and the esophagus, which carries the food from the buccal cavity into the esophagus. It is the esophagus that is connected to the stomach. Whatever bile is secreted by the liver is stored in the gallbladder. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to this session on First PUC Biology. I am Dr. Divya, Biology Faculty, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. In this session, let us learn about the digestive system of frog under Chapter 7, that is Structural Organization in Animals. So, let's learn the different units of or the different parts of the digestive system in frog, and then move on to learning about some of the MCQs under this particular topic. So, talking about the digestive system, so the digestive system of frog consists of the alimentary canal and the digestive glands. Talking about the alimentary canal of the frog, this is one of the peculiar characteristic feature of the frog, wherein their alimentary canal is very short because the frogs are carnivores, and also the length of the intestine is highly reduced in the case of frogs because they are carnivorous animals. And talking about the digestive glands that are present in frogs are the liver and the pancreas, wherein the liver, it secretes the bile and the pancreas secrete pancreatic juices, which contains various digestive enzymes in it. So, these two are the digestive glands because the bile and the pancreatic juices mainly helps in or completing the process of digestion in the case of frogs. So, moving to the alimentary canal. So, this is the diagram of the digestive tract or the alimentary canal of the frog, which is given in the NCERT textbook, and this diagram is also very important because it can come for the exam, wherein they can just ask, draw a neat labeled diagram of the digestive system of the frog or the alimentary canal of the frog for 3 marks, or for 5 marks, explain the alimentary canal of the frog with a neat labeled diagram. So, that is how the question can be framed. This is important along with the diagram. So, talking about the alimentary canal. So, the first in the alimentary canal, the first thing that we have to take note of is the mouth of the frog, because the food goes into the mouth of the frog. So, in the mouth, that is in the buccal cavity of the frog, they have a bilobed tongue. And it is through this bilobed tongue that they catch the prey. They take in the prey which enters into the buccal cavity. From the buccal cavity, it will move into the pharynx, and then from the pharynx, it will go into the esophagus. So, this esophagus that is there, it is a long tubular like structure, and this esophagus then enters into the stomach. Now, what happens in the stomach? In the stomach, the food gets partially digested, and the partially digested food that is there, it is called as chyme. Now, how does this food get partially digested? The stomach releases HCl, and also it releases some gastric juices which helps in partial digestion. So, remember, in frogs, the digestion doesn't begin in the mouth or the buccal cavity. The food, whatever is caught by the bilobed tongue, it directly goes into the buccal cavity, it directly enters into the pharynx and then moves into the esophagus, and once it reaches the stomach, then this HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, and some gastric juices will be released, and these two together they will partially digest the food. Now, this partially digested food that is called as chyme, it will first enter into the tip of the small intestine, which we can call as the duodenum. From the small intestine, it will enter into the large intestine, and then once it is in the intestine, there the complete digestion of the food will take place. That is, the chyme will get completely digested. Now, how will the partially digested food, that is the chyme, gets completely digested? So, here in the alimentary canal, we have to remember two important digestive glands, that is the liver and the gallbladder, and also the pancreas. So pancreas is not shown here in the diagram because this diagram is taken from the NCERT textbook. So pancreas also is there. Now what is the function of the liver? So this liver secretes bile. Now whatever bile is secreted by the liver, it gets stored in the gallbladder. It will be there in the gallbladder. So the liver keeps on secreting bile, it will get stored in the gallbladder. Now this pancreas. Now pancreas is there. What is the function of the pancreas? Pancreas secretes pancreatic juices which contains various digestive enzymes. So those enzymes will move into the small intestine. Meanwhile, from the gallbladder, the bile also moves into the small intestine, and there the bile and the pancreatic juices containing various digestive enzymes will start working on the chyme, that is a partially digested food, and that chyme gets completely digested. Now, completely digested food will be absorbed by small finger-like projections that are present in the lining the wall of the intestine, which is called as villi and microvilli. That is villi and microvilli. So these villi and microvilli, which are finger-like projections, they actually absorb the digested food, and whatever undigested food is there, it will move into the rectum, from the rectum into the cloaca, and from the cloaca, it will come out through the cloacal aperture in the form of excretory waste. So much process occurs in the alimentary canal of the frog. So this was about the alimentary canal. So next, let's move on to learning about some of the MCQs that can be framed under this particular topic. So which of the following is true about alimentary canal in frog? It is short. Yes, alimentary canal is short because frogs are carnivorous. So therefore, option A is the right answer. Rest of the options are wrong because it is long, it is not long, it is short. They have long intestine. No, they have a short intestine, and it is absent. They have an alimentary canal. Only thing is the size is small. So therefore, the following statement that is true about the alimentary canal of frog is that alimentary canal is short. Option A. Next question. The short tube that opens into the stomach is called, in the case of frog, that opens into the stomach is called buccal cavity, esophagus, pharynx, intestine. It is the esophagus. So esophagus is one that opens into the stomach. Don't get confused with pharynx. Pharynx forms a connection between the buccal cavity and the esophagus, which carries the food from the buccal cavity into the esophagus. It is the esophagus that is connected to the stomach. So esophagus is a short tube that actually opens into the stomach. So it is option B. Next question. Which of these characteristic of frog is the reason for short alimentary canal? I told you frogs have a short alimentary canal, and what is the reason behind that? Is it carnivorous? Yes, because they are carnivorous, they have a short alimentary canal. Bilobed tongue, chordate, amphibians. Of course, they have a bilobed tongue. They are chordates, they are amphibians, but none of these is the correct answer for this. It is because they are carnivorous, they have a short alimentary canal. Next, which of these organs secrete bile? Kidney, spleen, gallbladder, liver. Now, these two are not there because kidney is the excretory organ in the frog. It has nothing to do with the digestion. Spleen is also not the right answer. We have the option between gallbladder and liver. Now, here don't get confused. What is the question that I have asked? Which of these organs secrete bile or produces bile? It is the liver that produces or secretes bile. Which of these organs stores bile? It is the gallbladder, because whatever bile is secreted by the liver is stored in the gallbladder. So if the question is which of these organs stores bile, then the option will be gallbladder. Now what was the question I asked? Which of these organs secrete bile? It is liver, because liver secretes bile. Option D. Next question. In frogs, the chyme is passed through, or they can, instead of chyme, they can ask partially digested food, because chyme is nothing but partially digested food. So, in frogs, the chyme is passed through duodenum, stomach, pharynx, jejunum. So, it is passed through the duodenum, because the stomach is connected to the duodenum, and from the duodenum it enters into the jejunum, that is the small intestine. So therefore it is the duodenum, or the tip of the intestine, they have called it as a duodenum. So we have to choose duodenum as the answer here. Next question. Frogs capture food using forelimbs? No, forelimbs and hind limbs in frog is for walking, creeping, hopping and all that. They cannot, like how we can catch the food and all that, they cannot catch the food with that. It is the bilobed tongue that helps the frog. So you have seen, no, whenever there is an insect or something flying, the frog just spits open its bilobed tongue, and which is very sticky, it will just catch hold of the prey. So the right option here is bilobed tongue. Next question. Bile is stored in. Now here is the question. Bile is stored in. It is stored in gallbladder. Bile is secreted in liver. It is stored in gallbladder. Option C is the right answer here. Next question. Dash is the function of pancreatic juice. So emulsification of fats, digestion of carbohydrates, digestion of chyme, digestion of fat. So what is the function of the pancreatic juice here? So it is digestion of carbohydrates, because emulsification of fats is done by not the pancreatic juices, it is done by the HCl, because emulsification of fats is not done by the pancreatic juices, it is by the bile. So bile actually helps in the emulsification or breaking down of the fats. Pancreatic juices help in the digestion of carbohydrates. Digestion of chyme, not digestion of fat. No, that's not the right answer. So pancreatic juices, option B is the right answer here. That is digestion of carbohydrates. Next question. Final digestion in frog takes place in. Where does the final digestion take place? Is it esophagus? No, esophagus only helps in carrying the food to the stomach. Digestion will not occur there. Stomach, partial digestion occurs in the stomach. The food will not get completely digested in the stomach. It is the intestine. It is in the intestine that the food gets completely digested. Rectum, undigested food moves into the rectum. So therefore, option C is the right answer here. Next question. Stomach secretes dash HCl and gastric juices. Stomach secretes HCl and gastric juices. So the liver secretes bile, and the digestive enzyme is secreted by the pancreas. Actually, pancreas will secrete the pancreatic juices, which will contain a lot of digestive enzymes in it. So the right answer here is stomach secretes HCl and gastric juices, which actually helps in partial digestion of the food. Next, the digested food in intestine is absorbed by villi, duodenum, rectum, cloaca. It is villi or microvilli. So option A is the right answer. Duodenum, actually partially digested food, that is called as the chyme, moves into the duodenum, and the undigested food moves into the rectum, and then it goes into the cloaca. So therefore the question here is digested food is absorbed by finger-like projections that are present in the small intestine, and it is called as villi. Option A is the right answer here. Next question. Proteins are digested in frogs by bile, pancreatic juice, HCl, gastric juices. So it is the pancreatic juice. So pancreatic juice contains various digestive enzymes which help in digestion of protein. So remember, carbohydrate is digested by the pancreatic juices also. So carbohydrate and proteins both are digested by the pancreatic juices. So the question can be asked here, carbohydrates are digested in frogs by, then also the answer is pancreatic juices only. Bile, it emulsifies fat. HCl helps in partial digestion of the food in the stomach. Gastric juices also helps in partial digestion of food in the stomach. So proteins are digested in the intestine completely by the pancreatic juices that are secreted by the pancreas. So this was about the session wherein we learnt about the alimentary canal, that is the digestive system of the frog, and also got to know some of the MCQs under this particular topic. So I hope you understood the session well. We shall meet again in the coming session wherein we'll learn about a new topic under the anatomy of frog and the MCQs under it. So meet you in the next session. Thank you.